If I were to die young,
Oh.
would you remarry? Have you ever faked an orgasm?
Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Today, Joshua over here is going to be asking me deep questions that he has never asked me before. Last time we did a video where I asked him the deep questions, and this time he's come up with his own list of deep questions to ask me, and I have no idea what these are. I'm very curious to find out, so let's get into it.
Okay, first question. What's your favorite memory of our wedding?
My favorite memory of our wedding. Probably hearing your vows. Because I know I've said this so many times before, but like I was so surprised by your vows. They were so poetic and so well written. I couldn't stop crying.
Oh,
That was definitely my favorite
very
part.
wonderful thing to say. Do you feel like you got married too young?
No, I don't. Because I always wanted to get married young, because my desire to like travel and all that kind of stuff, I never wanted to do that alone. I always wanted to do that with someone. And I always thought that it'd be nice to do it with a guy because I would feel like more safe and stuff. And I was always just like, I'd love to do that with my husband one day. I just knew that I wanted to get married young, and I did. So no regrets.
Yeah, fair enough. Can you tell them how old you were when you got married?
I was 21 years old.
21.
Almost 22. The month after I turned 22.
All right. When did you realize you were ready for marriage? Like in life?
I probably realized I was ready for marriage when I stopped caring about the wedding. I got to the point where I was like, I will literally get married in a courthouse in a red dress if I have to, which was a big thing for me because I had always dreamt of my wedding day. And I think when I was a teenager, maybe sometimes I was more excited about like the bridal shower, the engagement party, the wedding day, the honeymoon, like all that kind of thing, rather than actually doing life with someone and like going through the ups and downs with someone. And then when I finally felt like I don't even care about the wedding, I don't care if it's like there's no one there, it's just me and you, then I was like, wow, like I really love this man and I'm actually ready for marriage. I'm not just caught up in the excitement of it.
That's a very nice answer.
Thanks.
Was our first time what you had expected?
Ooh, that's a good question.
No, Josh, it was way better than
I'm trying to remember our like first time, because my emotions were so high that, to be honest, it's a little bit of a blur. I think it was what I expected, to be honest. Like, I think I had heard a lot of people say that it was gonna be disappointing. Like, it was gonna be over before you know it, and it was gonna be painful and all this stuff. But then, like, I was expecting it to not be disappointing. I was expecting it to be beautiful and special and intimate. And I think that's what it was. Like, I think it was what I expected, like in a good way.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
It is good.
What's the biggest lesson that you've learned since being married?
Oh, I've learned a lot of lessons. I think a lesson that I've learned that comes to mind right away is sometimes you don't even realize that your actions could be manipulating the other person to behave in a way that you want them to behave. For example, when we first got married, if I would get upset, I would like leave the room. And that was my way of being like, I want him to chase me. And I didn't realize that that's kind of manipulative, because I'm kind of like, I'm doing something because I want him to do something.
And then you would get upset if I didn't follow
And then I'd
you.
get upset if you didn't chase after me.
Which I didn't.
Which he didn't.
Because I saw what was happening.
Yeah. But I didn't realize that. I just thought like, oh, he doesn't care about me because he's not chasing me. But actually, it's just a bad habit to be in. To like do anything purely because you want a specific response from someone else. Like that's always like to some degree that's always manipulation. So I think the biggest thing for me has been don't act on impulse or because you want your actions to cause them to do something. Like don't try to control how they respond. Just be mature. And I don't know if this is making any sense, but just like be mature. Don't try to control the other person. Don't try to manipulate the situation. Just
like actually communicate.
Just actually communicate. Try to get the result that you want through communication, not manipulation. It rhymes, so it must be real.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to say like I was a manipulative person. Like I'm not a manipulative person, but sometimes I just didn't even realize that what I was doing. And
I think like that's a very learned societal behavior. I think that like Disney movies teach us that.
Taylor Swift songs.
Yeah, like I'm gonna run away and he's gonna chase after me and he's gonna stand outside my door with a boombox. Like I'm sorry.
Yeah, and like I don't think I do this, but I do know that some people can easily get into the habit of like giving their spouse the silent treatment and not talking to them because they want their spouse to show care for them and be like, what's wrong? Please tell me. Like
I'm sorry, please, like just talk to me.
And I don't think that people do it just to like be manipulative or whatever. I do think, like you said, I think it's a learned behavior, and instead of doing something like that, to just find the root cause in your head and then voice like, I don't feel cared for, rather than manipulating them to show you care.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I won't talk to them so that they ask what's wrong, and then I'll tell them what's wrong.
And then they'll care for me and hug me and whatever. You could just ask for a hug.
Just ask for a freaking hug.
Yeah. But it is hard. You have to practice it.
And I think it's also important to remember, like, somebody might not actually be giving you the silent treatment. They might just be an inward processor.
Yeah, that's true.
But like there's a line. There's a line between like just like actually thinking about things and then just like ignoring your partner. And like that line needs to be pretty clear.
Yeah.
You need to know each other.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing? So this is the same question but reversed to me. So what's the biggest thing that you think that you've taught me since we've been together?
Probably communication. You agree? I think you've gotten a lot better at communication. I think that I think you've gotten really good because in the beginning, I think that you used to kind of like what you said before. I think you would tell yourself you were inward processing, but really you were just distracting yourself by like playing video games or like going out and doing something or whatever. I think now you've gotten to the point where you actually inward process and think about what you want to say to me and how you can communicate it clearly. And you do a really good job of that. Like,
I try.
Yeah.
I don't always get it right.
Well,
but
even
yesterday,
when I had like told you how I was feeling about something, and in the moment you didn't really know how to respond, but then you had like 5-10 minutes to inward process, and then you came back to me and you communicated really clearly like what you thought about the situation,
how I thought I was making you feel, at least. Yeah.
And then I was like, cool, I feel like he's communicated to me that he does understand and we have a solution. And I think that you didn't do that in the beginning. So I think communication's a big improvement. Good job.
Thanks. Thanks. It's been really hard.
Has it actually?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's had its struggles for sure. Like it's a part of my character that I've had to work on, because I don't think it's just solely like a lesson that you need to learn. Here's this skill that I've learned. I think it's like a character shift that needs to happen. Yeah. And the character shift is like, I will try to work on myself at all costs at all times. And so
this is a side note, but I just want to say, if you're single, I think the single most important quality that you need in a spouse, other than them loving Jesus, I think the single most important characteristic is someone who doesn't stop trying. Like someone who does not stop trying to be better. If you're in a relationship with someone and they're constantly making excuses for their behavior and not changing, I think that's the biggest red flag. But if you're with someone in a relationship and they do make mistakes, but because everyone makes mistakes, but they say sorry, and you can see that they genuinely are trying to change. That is a massive green flag, because that's one thing that really drew me to Josh, was he was always trying to be a better person. And I know that until the day we die, he is constantly going to be becoming a better person, because it's really important to him. And that is, you can't go wrong marrying someone like that. Oh,
that's you, not me. This is a real, I don't even know if you're going to want to answer this one.
Okay, I'm scared.
Oh, please tell me. Have you ever faked an orgasm?
Once, but I told you, remember?
I don't remember.
When we first got married, there was one time that I faked it, and then I felt bad and I told you. Do you remember that?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I kind of remember a discussion a little bit.
I faked it that one time, and then I told you after. I was like, I feel really bad because I faked it because like I was tired or something like that. But I feel bad because I lied to you.
That was funny.
But no, this is so funny. I don't know why I feel comfortable talking about this, because it is super personal.
Super personal.
But I, like, even with things like that, I don't want to be dishonest. I want to be honest.
That's true.
Yeah. So no, other than that one time in the beginning of our marriage, like 3 years ago, that I told you about, no, I haven't.
No, good for you.
Good for
I've
you.
never faked one either.
I know.
What went through your mind the first time you saw me in person?
I honestly think I was so, like, my adrenaline was so high that my head was basically like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Because we met online, and then we met in person at the airport in New Zealand, because we were living in different countries. And then when you walked out, I think my brain was literally like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But I remember thinking that you were really like fit and like toned and lean, and I was like, whoa, he's like leaner than I thought he was.
Yeah, so you did say that. You're like, I thought you were skinnier than I thought you were.
I thought you were gonna be bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, you were bigger. I was like, I was working out a lot, so I was actually like an insult to me. I was like,
no, but it's a compliment. Like, you were leaner than I thought you were gonna be.
Yeah, but I wasn't going for lean. I wanted to get huge.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like, I work out like 6 days a week, and you tell me I'm smaller than you thought?
So funny. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I remember thinking that you were leaner in person, but like it was like an athletic lean.
Yeah.
And then personality wise, I think I just felt like he's the exact same in person like he was on video chat. Just like easy to get along with, funny. Yeah.
Cool.
That's
if
it.
you keep up those compliments, my head's not gonna fit through the door. Dung, dung, dung.
Oh my gosh.
What thing have I done that has made you the most proud of me?
Aww. I was really proud of you when, like, for both of your promotions that you got. I was really, really proud of you. Because I also know that it's not an easy industry. Like, I respect how much work and hours you put in, and the fact that you got like 2 promotions in like, what was it, like a year?
Yeah.
I was like amazed. I was just like, wow, he's such a hard worker, and I know that your main motivation is family and like providing for us and stuff, and I think that's the first thing that comes to my head.
That's very nice of you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What is your biggest worry about our future?
Probably money. Like, I just think the economy sucks right now.
It does.
Like, I see people all the time on TikTok and just everywhere online, basically, people who live in Canada talking about how much they make, and it's always like a decent wage.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, and yet this is how much I spent on my rent, and this is where I live, and it's always very basic. This is how much I owe on my student loan. This is how much I spent on food. And everything's reasonable. And then it's like, oh, at the end of the month, I have like $10 for myself, kind of thing. And like, we're not like struggling like that at all. I wouldn't even say we're struggling.
We're not struggling, no.
But I just don't want the economy to get worse.
Yeah.
I just don't. And so it's not really an us thing. It's something kind of out of our control.
Yeah.
Because we're both working. We're both doing our best. Especially you. You're doing amazing. It's just more like the world that we live in right now. It seems like everything's just going up, 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 up. And yeah, but I'm working on trusting God with that and just giving it to him. I kind of had this realization the other day. I told Josh about it, but I was driving in the car, and I'm a singing teacher, so I was driving to a singing student's house, and I was just singing some worship songs, and I was praying to God just about like us buying a house, because we are wanting to buy a place within the next 6 months, basically. And so I was just praying to God about it, and I felt like, I think it was God speaking to me. And the thought just came into my head of like, my father is the wealthiest man in the universe. He owns the entire earth, and he owns everything in it. And he is always going to provide for us. And anything that he knows that we need and that he wants us to have, he can give to us like by one word of his mouth. And so just reminding myself of that and like trusting him for that is something that I'm working on.
That's good.
Yeah.
If I were to die young,
Oh,
would you remarry?
I probably would, but I don't think it would happen quickly. I just know that we're so young, and for me to say no, I'd be alone for the rest of my life.
I'd be mad at you, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like you're just punishing yourself.
Yeah, but I think that I spoke to my friend about this the other day. Like, no, about
He's
like
planning on killing me.
No, we were just talking about like if our criteria for a husband would change if our spouse died. That's the kind of fun things me and my girlfriends talk about. I think I would just want someone stable and kind. I don't think that I would be looking. I'm gonna start crying. I don't think I'd be looking for someone who's like my absolute best friend in the whole world. Because I know I could never find that again. And I wouldn't be looking for someone to take your place, because it's impossible. Like, I would just look for someone who is just like a good godly man, and would just be like a good life companion. But yeah, my standards wouldn't be as high, because I've already met the love of my life.
Oh, thank you.
It's okay.
Sorry.
How many left?
It's cutting onions over here. Somebody was cutting onions.
I know, it's just onions.
Yeah.
I cried in the last video too.
Did you? Yeah, you did.
Yeah. And it was also about a question about you dying or something.
Was it? That's funny. Is it funny? Kind of. Okay. If you could snap your fingers and own a house in New Zealand, or own a house here in Canada, where would you want that house?
You don't know the answer to that?
Well, I don't know. You might miss your friends over there too, and you'd be closer to your side of the family.
Yeah, but I love Canada. Like, I do like New Zealand, and I spent majority of my life there. But I'm invested here now, and I'm like already working on just like having this be where our roots are. I'm super invested here. So I would choose Canada for sure.
Fair enough.
I think I'd love to have a house out, like just slightly outside of town. And it's like a nice quiet neighborhood, space in the backyard for the little Franklin to run around, and lots of natural light.
Yes.
We both love our natural light.
I love natural light.
Yeah.
Natural light is like...
We'll get there one day. You have another hand.
Oh. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video.
We could do a Part 3.
We could do a part 3 or something like that, where we just ask each other your guys' questions for us to answer.
Oh, that's a good one.
That could be kind of cool, yeah.
Answering deep questions from our subscribers that we never have before.
Yeah, that could be kind of cool.
That's a really good idea. Okay, we're gonna do that video. If we get 10 deep questions in the comments, 10 good deep questions in the comments, we'll make a video answering those questions.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
That could be really fun. Yeah, thanks for watching this video, and we really hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and until next time, we haven't done this in a while. Ebony and Ivory.
Oh my gosh.
Out.
Oh, we haven't done this since like 2019.